Peace, 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 beautiful people. Welcome everyone far and wide throughout the United States, Canada. I'm sure we have people tuning in Europe as well, Africa, wherever you are. We are here to celebrate, honor, commemorate the stolen lives. Welcome, welcome once again. Thank you to all the organizers here. If you are new to this space and don't know what we do or why we do what we do, I'm pretty sure many people do know. It'll be explained a little bit further in the program, but I do want to explain one thing from my heart, that as an organizer of several decades, this is one of the most dearest movements to my heart, when we're fighting the occupation of police and fighting the occupation of Israeli occupation forces out in Palestine, making those connections throughout the world. We'd like to send honor, love, light, liberation to all of those who are freedom fighters, also the people who have paved the way before us. We'll be talking about our ancestors, but also just keep in mind formations such as the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, Black Liberation Army, Young Lords, Iwakin, Young Patriots, Rainbow Coalition, many of those who have fought along the side of the people, for the people, against police brutality, assassinations within our communities. And we can go over a whole bunch of facts. We could just spread a whole bunch of things of why we're here. The most important thing right now is to give our energy, our solidarity to the families, to those who have lost their children to police assassination. So we're here to give that light. If you pray, if you believe in a higher force, now would be a good time. I'd also like to ground everybody here. You'll be hearing the testimonies directly from the family. If you're feeling it's a little too intense, I would just prepare everyone. If you burn incense, sage, whatever it is, have a bowl of water in front of you. Water collects energy. And once this ceremony is over, you can dump that water out. Whatever you do to ground yourself, meditation, however it may be, please do practice that, especially in this time. Once again, my name is Spirit Child. I'm a freedom singer from the Maroon Party for Liberation, also organizer with Urban Art Beat. Those formations work with young people and political education, and we're here for the people and by the people. Without further ado, I would love to introduce two priests who will be leading us in libations. And this is really important for us as a community. We do not start anything without paying tribute and homage to the ancestors. And we're honored today to have Dr. Kwame Osajifo Kalimara, co-founder of the New African People's Organization and the Malcolm X Grassroots Organization. He's an educator and a priest in the New African Voodoo system. Iya Shango Iniola Oladehi Kalimara, a devotee of Ifa Orisha, and Ayola Sosa in the house of Afonja under the New African Spiritual Temple. And apologies if I mispronounce anything there. We are so honored to have you lead us in libations, and thank you so much for your presence and your energy and groundation. We'll pass it over to you.
Libation is as old as our recognition of spirit. We know that in Africa, there are thousands of nationalities. We acknowledge that there are many names for ultimate reality, but we know that libation is an invocation. And so in this invocation, we ask ultimate reality to be with us. And we also ask our ancestors to be with us. We know that the symbols are water representing the spirit, and plants and earth representing our body. So with that, we begin our libation.
Awa ori, awa ori, awa osun, awa oma, hey oma, yeyawo, ara orun tawe. Awa ori, awa ori, awa osun, awa oma, hey oma, yeyawo, ala orun tawe. Egun waleo, egun waleo, egun waleo, egun waleo. Mojuba. Olódùmarè mojúbà gbogbo ikú Olúwa tẹ̀mbẹ̀lẹ́sẹ̀ Olódùmarè ìbà ìbà tòrun. Mojúbà Gary Hopkins Jr. ìbà ìbà tòrun. Mojúbà Shakur McNair ìbà ìbà tòrun. Mojúbà Justice D. Howell ìbà ìbà tòrun. Mojúbà Charles Edward Roseman Sr. ìbà ìbà tòrun. Mojúbà Andrew Kerce ìbà ìbà tòrun. Mojúbà David Jackson Page, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Alan Albertis, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Shane Sutherland, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Rudes Pierre, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Aris Hopkins, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Andrew Jerome Washington III, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Gulia III, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Colby D. Mock Hessler, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Paul Castaway, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Sydney Hardy, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Jalen McKenzie, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Jesse Saray, Ibai by Torun. Mojuba Tekel Sunberg, Ibai by Torun.
Uhuru Kwataifa, Lazima Newana Uhuru, Pamoja Tusha Shinde, Uhuru Kwataifa, Lazima Newana Uhuru, Dwayne Wright,
Ibai by Torun.
Gil Barber,
Ibai by Torun.
Malcolm Ferguson,
Ibai by Torun.
Marcus Golden,
Ibai by Torun.
Justin Tickering,
Ibai by Torun.
Michael Balada,
Ibai by Torun.
Kenanoko Blakely,
Ibai by Torun.
Stone Child, Chief Stick,
Ibai by Torun.
Fred Cox,
Ibai by Torun.
Carl Dorsey,
Ibai by Torun.
Gregory Edwards,
Ibai by Torun.
Mohammed Isfan,
Ibai by Torun.
Tero McQueen Masi,
Ibai by Torun.
Famina Akla,
Ibai by Torun.
Philip Pennell,
Ibai by Torun.
Sincere Pierce,
Ibai by Torun.
Bernard Blackett Jr.,
Ibai by Torun.
Justin Smith.
Ibai by Torun. Mojuba fefe iku. Mojuba fefe iku. Mojuba fefe iku. Mojuba fefe iku. Iku wo, iti lọ sí Jọba egungun. Iku wo, iti lọ sí Jọba egungun. Mojuba fefe iku. Mojuba fefe iku. May your names never be forgotten.
We now may proceed with the program because all of our ancestors are present to receive. Let us begin. Asante Sana, Asante Sana, Asante Sana, Asante Sana. It is done.
Ashe.
Greetings on behalf of the families of tens of thousands of men, women, and children murdered by law enforcement. I welcome you to a painful, gut-wrenching, yet commemorative event, the Stolen Lives Induction Ceremony, streaming live for the fourth year. I am Andre Pennick Smith, the mother of Justin Smith, who was beaten to death by 5 Tulsa County sheriffs August 14th, 1998. The first national induction ceremony was held in 1999. This ceremony marks the formal induction of victims of police killings into the roster of the Stolen Lives Project. It is both an affirmation of life and a call to action. It allows the stolen lives to be remembered by those who love them and shared with people throughout the world. During today's ceremony, participating families and loved ones of Stolen Lives will receive certificates that validate the formal induction. Today, you will hear families speak about their loved ones and their struggles for justice, as well as community organizers and artists who are also involved in the fight against police violence. As always, the ceremony will end with a pledge read by all as a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to the struggle. Thank you for your dedication to the fight against police brutality and for your commitment to ensuring that the October 22nd National Day of Protest against police brutality, repression, and the criminalization of a generation will forever be commemorated and that our loved ones will never be forgotten. Again, welcome to the Stolen Lives Induction Ceremony.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much, Andre Smith. You couldn't get a more warm voice for that welcome. And hopefully at some point, not just the mother of Justin Smith, who was killed by Tulsa sheriffs on August 14th, 1998, but also an amazing speaker, nurturer, and singer. So maybe at some point we can get some vocals in and warm us up in our souls as well. And we would love it and appreciate to hear from you later on. The first inductions of our Stolen Lives in California and New York certificates will be presented to the families by Marissa Barriera, the sister of Michael Barriera, who was killed by Woodland, California police on February 8th, 2017. Welcome, Marissa. I'm not sure if you all are hearing Marissa. If you're able to, do we have you yet? You're on mute. If you could, yeah. That
Am
work
I on
out?
live already?
Yes, you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we started a couple minutes earlier. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for having me. I'm Marissa Barrera. I'm the sister of Michael Barrera, who was killed by Woodland Police in 2017. I joined this ceremony last year, so I am joining as the presenter this year, and I will be presenting for Karen Sutherland first. These are photos of my brother that we shared last year and our family. So I think we're waiting for Karen to join. Sorry, guys. We're waiting for Karen Sutherland to join. So since we're going to have a few minutes, I'll go ahead and just share a little bit on my name. It does share Marissa Barrera of Voices of Strength. So Voice of Strength is an impacted family-led organization that I founded in 2020 to help amplify the voices of our families and share the true stories about our loved ones. You guys can see more about our work and also see a bunch of interviews directly from impacted families and other resources there at voicesofstrength.info. And we try to amplify the stories, get our real narratives out there, raise awareness, and demand accountability and justice for our loved ones. And I think we're just still waiting for Karen to come on. I just want to also give a big shout out to everyone who helped organize this and have been doing this year after year for our families. I was happy to be a part of it last year, and this year just happy to get new families in and uplift their stories and their voices as well. And I think we are still waiting for somebody, but if there's...
Hey, Marissa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you out a bit. I'm gonna be with you. We're not
Okay.
going in here. Thank you so much for holding it down. As we wait for Karen, just wanted to shout out KB in Chicago, Ingrid Hill, who's also moderating the chat in New Jersey. Thank you so much. We have Scott, North Carolina. We have Zeke Smith. We have also Rosa on Shaolin. We have Kim Vaughn, Elaine Simmons. Thank you so much from Washington State. As I mentioned earlier, this is a pandemic. It is worldwide. This is something that we are working to stop as far as police brutality and assassinations. In the meantime, we are uplifting the voices of the families. Also, Sheena Rose, what's up, Val D, thank you so much. And please do put where you're from, where you're at. Baba Zaid Muhammad, of course, peace, peace, and love. Malcolm X Commemoration Committee, peace out in Jersey. And thank you so much for being here, Rebecca. Everyone who is here supporting the families, as you always been, whether we're in the streets October 22nd every year, marching throughout the nation, or whether we are in this Zoom platform, as Andre mentioned, only the 4th time in this particular platform. However, there's been a lot of work done behind the scenes to make this happen, and continuously. There is also maybe there could be a link in the chat as far as a book on the Stolen Lives that was produced early 2000s, still relevant. There's also a part 2 to that. And anyone who wants to help with research and organizing, please put your information in the chat. Big up to Kathy, big up to Lumi, holding it down with the live stream. As always, thank you so much. And again, we are here throughout this multiverse speaking our truth. And I don't believe Karen is here yet. Okay, we're going to show the fist up video that we have queued up. Thank you so much. That's why I love organizers. We got this. As we wait for the families and to hear more voices, we're going to have this video played for you right now, and then we'll come back and regroup. Thank you so much.
What up? We still riding with you. Some stop, gave up. I'm on the course with you, walk with you, talk with you. You gave a mother's love for our children, building a revolution. Yes, we were building. You're someone that speaks signs. Starlight Sicilian, I'm feeling it's more. Must be more than this feeling. It's got to be real if you feel what I'm feeling. More appeals that I'm healing. Still when I wait for the system. And I won't be a victim. And my freedom, still when I hear them. More appeals that I'm healing. Still when I wait for the system. And I won't be a victim for my freedom. Still when I eat them, rock when I lead them. Ibaye, Ibaye, Danu, Ibaye, Ibaye, Danu, Ibaye, Ibaye, Danu, Ibaye, Ibaye, Danu, Danu, Look at your strong kin, what a legacy. We still pray to be better than the enemy. I ain't your target practice, I blacksmith alchemy. We way beyond average multiverse galaxy. That'll be nebula, cellular galaxy. All within I and me, all for the world to see. I talk, put around a speech. I walk, leave behind recliner seats. We put the rise in power to the rest in peace. Make your soul rise in power, suffering rest in peace. We love you.
Shut up on there, shut up on there, shut up on there.
What up? We still riding with you. Some stop, gave up. I'm on the course with you, walk with you, talk with you. You gave a mother's love for our children, building a revolution. Yes, we were building. You're some more than a street sign. Starlight's the ceiling. I'm feeling this more. Must be more than this feeling. It's got to be real if you feel what I'm feeling.
More appeals that I'm healing. Still when I wait for the system. And I won't.
Thank you to everyone who sent their photos for the fist up across this United Snakes of America. We appreciate your energy, your organizing. We thank you so very much for being out in the streets. And yes, as Steve Yip mentioned, Nicholas Hayward, Ibaye Ashe, you were always with us. That song was for Nicholas. It was created shortly after he transitioned with the ancestors, and he always lives in our hearts. And we also want to give a special shout out to Juanita Young, who's also suffering a recent loss. And we want to send a lot of energy to her. Right now, we're going to bring Marissa to read a statement for us as we still wait for Karen. Thank you so much, Marissa.
Okay, thank you guys. This is the statement by Impacted Families. We drafted this while we were getting ready to do the October 22nd action this year. And we have a lot of families that have signed on. We are asking more families to read this and sign on with us. As families of police murder victims, we have been thrust into a fight that we never asked to be a part of, but we will not stand by and let our loved ones' cases be left in the dark. We will not sit back and watch police terrorism continue to destroy so many lives through the murderous behavior of law enforcement with zero accountability. The complete lack of respect for human life by the hands of police impacts all races, genders, and creeds. The number of stolen lives continues to grow every year, and Cop City is evidence that there are worse things to come. We unite to overcome the divisiveness that continues to plague our mission. We are a much more powerful front when all families unify as one entity. To that end, we align ourselves with the October 22nd Coalition in hopes of uniting impacted families with concerned community members so we may be a more powerful force in the face of this national epidemic. So many victims do not get the national attention, and there are thousands and thousands of cases the public has never heard of. If the people of this nation were told exactly how many are killed by law enforcement every day, It would astound them. We don't want any more names to be added. We want no more families inflicted with the trauma we suffer. Stand with us and raise up your voices with ours to fight together for the day when police murder is a thing of the past. And again, we are asking families, impacted families, to endorse this statement with us. So we're going to go on to the first presentation. Karen Sutherland has joined us. Hi, Karen.
Hi, guys. Sorry about the lateness. We had some issues over here.
It's good to see you. And I'm going to go ahead and read your certificate. Then we'll go ahead and pass the mic over to you and let you share some words. On December 2nd, 2023, the name of Shane Sutherland is formally entered into the Stolen Lives Project, joining tens of thousands of people killed by law enforcement in the U.S. since 1990. These victims who are gathered together in death shout out from their graves for justice. I apologize. Over these victims whose life has been viciously cut short, all had lives and families and were part of society, but rarely are their lives or names publicized, nor are the real circumstances surrounding their deaths caused by law enforcement made known. Their names, stories, and faces gathered in the Stolen Lives Project demand of the living to tell the truth of their stories and that there will be no more stolen lives. We refuse to let Shane die in vain. In his name, we will stop this national epidemic. Karen, welcome again, and go ahead and share some words about your son. And we are happy to have you here with us. And of course, sorry for your loss.
Thanks, Marissa. And I appreciate you guys including Shane in this. So just a little bit about Shane. He was 29 years old, father of two. He was a union worker. He worked for the Glaziers and Glass Workers Union, Local 169 in the Bay Area. He also went to Alaska when they got laid off for COVID, and he did commercial fishing with my nephew for a couple months. And it was shortly after that when he came back, and he went back to the union when they started hiring again after the layoffs. So anyway, he has two children, as you see on the screen right now. He also was very involved with his girlfriend's children. She has three older children. He was a coach for the Manteca Chargers. He took that very seriously. In fact, they still honor him at every home game. They have a banner up of him, as you see on the screen right now as well. They put that at every home game. The whole team just misses him. He had like a shout out that he would do with the kids every day, and they still continue that to this day. So it's just an honor. Shane struggled with drug use at times. He just had some depression and anxiety, and getting mental health help, as we all know, is pretty difficult. He had insurance, and even with that, it was very difficult. So he was going through some things. Him and his girlfriend had broke up about a year prior. He lived with me on and off that last year. And when he came back from Alaska, he stayed with me for a couple months and then went back to work at his union job. Well, the morning of October 8th, I get a phone call that he had went to the store, an AM/PM store in Stockton. And of course, the police narrative, they put out things that he was threatening a store employee, which we found out to be very untrue. And it was proven by video evidence, as well as the store manager telling me that he didn't threaten anybody and even offered money to help with the funeral costs. So anyway, the whole police narrative of him threatening a store employee, the cops get there. Shane was just standing there holding a wine bottle. He wasn't swinging it. He wasn't doing anything like that. He was just standing in the store looking out. The cops get there. They ask Shane to go outside. So he goes out. He's complying with them. He sits down on the curb. He gives them his ID. He's answering their questions very politely. And I don't know what happened, but he stands up really fast and he just kind of like turns around and He just turns around right into the cops, and they tackle him and slam him to the ground. And, you know, he's telling him throughout this that he can't breathe. He's telling him he's relaxed. They keep telling him to relax. You know, he's like, I'm relaxed, sir. I'm relaxed. He's calling them sir. He's apologizing for standing up. And one cop was sitting on his back with his arm in the side of his neck, and the other cop is sitting there and holding a baton to restrain Shane as well. And he wasn't fighting them at all. He was just trying to breathe. He's moving his head side to side, trying to get air. And so this was going on for about 8 minutes. And yeah, that's how they killed him. Since then, it's been a fight. It's been over 3 years. Of course, they have taken no responsibility. I've been very active in speaking out. I've done rallies, protests outside the police department, the district attorney's office. I've written letters. I've, you know, been involved with as much as I can. I do have an attorney that has filed a civil federal lawsuit, which is supposed to go to trial next year sometime. But as far as charges of these cops, the San Joaquin County District Attorney, Ron Freitas, declined to press charges against the cops. So that's another one of my major issues, obviously. I have reached out to him. And we've also reached out to the Attorney General, Rob Bonta, to see if he'll open up the case and do his own investigation, as well as the FBI. So we're still in the fight for my son and for his children. And, you know, that's really the best that we can do. We just keep fighting and speaking out and doing things like this to keep his name out there. He's very missed. He was a very loving person. He wouldn't hurt anybody at all. He never threatened anybody. He just, you know, this shouldn't have happened. And I thank you for letting me tell his story.
Thank you so much for sharing, Karen. And like most people will end up hearing, the families are having to advocate, be the fighters, fight back, and go through so many obstacles. And it's really difficult. So just reminding people, support families if you guys are able to. Thank you so much, Karen. And it was great hearing from you. And we're sorry for your loss, and we will keep fighting for Shane with you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Bye, Karen. All right, you guys, next we are going to invite another impacted family to the stage to come share some words. This is a family of Andrew Kerce. Angelique is coming on. Hi.
Hi, honey. How you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. And my condolences to you as well as to the other families and stuff.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. I know we all understand, and when we talk, we understand everyone's pain. So
yeah, it hits home, especially the I can't breathe. That's like a trigger to me, and I like people don't understand that you know, they kill our loved ones, but us survivors, I call us survivors. You know, we get affected by PTSD, depression, and anxiety, and certain things and certain trigger our thing. I hate the word I can't breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for anybody who's watching, Angelique's, Karen's case, and my brother's case are all the I can't breathe type of cases. And yeah, what you said really resonates with me.
Yeah, in which a lot of media and, you know, fake politicians, as you know, as well as fake activists, they only want to focus on just, you know, the 15 families that they keep, you know, portraying that is only them, when there's a lot of us. And everybody needs to understand that, you know, if you're screaming their names, know the ones that are in your state. You know, saying scream, know the ones that are in your state and help us get justice. You know, that everybody, that's all we want is just justice.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, for the people that don't know me, my name is Angelique Negroin Kerce. I am the wife of Andrew Kerce, who was murdered by Schenectady Police Department on May 11, 2017. Andrew was only 36 years old, and he just came home from doing 2 years and only lasted 15 days. So it's like me and the kids is still waiting for him. Andrew was a father of 9, and we just had our last child, which we call her Buttercup, but her name is Serenity because she's supposed to be my serenity from all the boys. Which she's not. I should have named her something else. But she's our Buttercup, and she's beautiful. And like he wasn't there for her when she was born, as well as he wasn't there for her first birthday. And he's like, Angie, I'm gonna be there for her second birthday. I'm not gonna miss nothing. And he got murdered May 11th, and her birthday was May 25th. So she would never be she would never know her daddy. Like, she just got pictures of him, locked up, and which is not fair because the officer gets to live their life and go on with their life. And she would never be a daddy's girl. She would never walk down the aisle. She would never have that daddy dance. You're saying? So she's the one that I fight for the most because she's the one that loses out the most. And if you know how to be, if you was a daddy's girl, because I was a daddy's girl, you know how that is. The first person your boyfriend is your dad, and that's who you look up to, and that's who you bond, and you have some kind of something. Because I used to, when I was little, I would be like, yeah, my daddy was my boyfriend, and he was my everything. And I lost my dad at 16 and a half, so I know how it is to lose a parent. But I don't know what's worse, to lose a parent when you're older or to lose a parent when you're young. I believe when you're young, because you don't have no memories of nothing, and it's just something that you're trying to grasp. Like I said, Andrew just came home from doing 2 years, and on that fateful day, he over a red light, he ran a red light, and then he fled. And as he fled, and the officers caught him. He stated that his leg hurt, and the officers stated that instead of dragging him and calling the ambulance, they put him inside of a police car. And over 17 minutes, within 70 times, Andrew begged. He says, I'm begging you, please, to help him. And the Officer Mark Weeks of Schenectady Police Department denied him his pleas of help. And this is all on dash cam. If you guys want to see it, it's on YouTube, Andrew Kerce full dash cam. And I want your opinion on that, if it is murder. Literally, he was stating everything and saying that I can't breathe. He was stating that he felt dizzy. He was giving him, saying, I feel like throwing up, and the officer say, don't throw up in my car. He died 1 minute before he got to the police station. And you see this all on dash cam. You see death in his face. You see everything. And he was so polite about everything. He's, officer, please. Can you open the window? No, I'm not opening the window. Officer, please. He's literally, imagine yourself. You're dying, literally dying. And you're begging, and the only one that could help you is this officer, which he's a black African American, which was trained in the military. So you can't tell me that you don't know anybody that's in distress. And he would not help him at all. And after he's gone, he goes to the police station, and he goes and he opens the door, and he says, your buddy, get up. And nothing. They drag him out the car, place him on the concrete. Now you see all these officers coming out. They drinking coffee. They're laughing. They taking their time for the defibrillators. The captain goes to Officer Mark Weeks, and he says, what happened? And Officer Mark Weeks goes, he was doing that I can't breathe thing all the way here. They say, the officer's like, if they're talking, they're breathing. Well, He was talking and he's not breathing. Andrew died from cardiac arrest 1 minute before he got to the police station. How messed up is that? How messed up is that you gotta plead and beg for your life over 70 times within 17 minutes, just in the hands of back of a police car, handcuffed? You can't even gas or help you. What kind of messed up thing is that? From that day, I swore and I said, I'm gonna get him justice. I'm gonna get him justice. One of our twin sons, his name is Justice, and I kept saying that, Justice. And you know what he says? Mommy, why you keep saying my name? Why you keep saying my name? And I said, Justice, your name is more powerful than what you know. It's not, I'm calling you, the ancestors, the people, because what your dad needs is justice. And I'm screaming 6 years later, still saying justice. We got a law here passed. It's called the Andrew Kerce Act. And that states that if anybody needs any kind of medical distress, they will be held accountable and get a civil charge. You know what I'm saying? We went for it nationally. And when 2020 it went to the Senate, it got read into the Senate floor twice and then reintroduced in 21. But once it passes, it sets a presidency and it will be criminal and civil. And if he had to die in that manner just to save so many, then he didn't die in vain. And that's my fight. That's his fight. That's his legacy. You know what I'm saying? We got his foundation, which is called the Andrew Kerce Foundation, and that's to help other people not to die in the manner, and to help other family members, because we don't want to be in this club. And it's fabulous when you know other families because they know your pain and stuff like that. But I don't want nobody else to be in this club. It's really whack, man. I don't want them to suffer this hole that will never be fulfilled. You know, like, come on, it's not cool at all. I got children that I gotta keep raising. I'm a mother of 7, and I got little ones that, you know, they need their dad. And I just, my whole thing, that don't think that they kill our loved ones. Everybody's affected. I gotta raise them, and I gotta, you know, them to raise without a daddy, and everybody needs a dad. And I just want everybody to understand that if you mad about George Floyd, you mad about Eric Garner, and you mad about the other families, get mad about everyone else and know the ones that are in your state, because we all need justice. This is a pandemic. Get mad and help us get justice. Help me seek justice, because the officer's still on the job. Even in 2020, the chief of police calls me up to tell me, yes, they want to publicly announce stating that they messed with Andrew. And I say, okay, you're going to get him off the job? He's still on the job. To kill more. Come on, man. Where's the justice in that? Grand jury failed to indict him. Sorry, I'm sorry. I just like, help me get the federal government to help me indict him, because that's what I want. I want him to be accountable for his actions. Like I keep saying, if you want a life of crime with no jail time, just be a cop. And it shouldn't even be like that. So justice for Andrew Kerce, justice for all those stolen lives, and thank you. And I'm honored, and as well as I'm hurtful, because it shouldn't even be like that. And look, these are 2 of my children. This is Justice. Say hi.
Hi.
And this is Sincere. Hi. They should have a dad.
Okay, Angelique, we're going to read the certificate out loud for Andrew. So we're going to pull that up on the screen, and then I will read that. And thank you so much for sharing. And you hit so many important topics that need to be heard. So to the family of Andrew Pierce, you're welcome. Okay. On December 2nd, 2023, the name of Andrew Kerce is formally entered into the Stolen Lives Project, joining tens of thousands of people killed by law enforcement in the U.S.
God bless.
Sorry, guys.
It's
Our timing got a
okay.
little off, but tens of thousands of people killed by law enforcement in the U.S. since 1990. The victims who are gathered together in death shout out from their graves for justice. Over 1,000 are killed by this official violence every year. These victims, whose lives have been viciously cut short, all had lives and families and were part of society. but rarely are their lives or names publicized, nor are the real circumstances surrounding the deaths caused by law enforcement made known. Their names, stories, and faces gathered. Yes, 1 second. In the Stolen Lives Project, demand of the living to tell the truth of their stories and that there will be no more stolen lives. We refuse to let Andrew die in vain. In his name, we will stop this national epidemic. Thank you again. And thank you, everybody, for watching and joining. I'm going to step away now. I hope you guys stay for the rest of the ceremony and hear the other families.
Thank you,
Take care.
Maritza. God bless.
Bye, Angelique. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marissa, and thank you for the little cubs, the little children that are in the background. We need more of that. So don't feel any type of way. Always take a pause, a break. If you want them on camera, off camera, it's all good. We are here for the mothers. We are here for the fathers that mother. And Angelique, some things that you have mentioned, definitely we have to get more mad. We have to be mad. We have to be mad. We have to be angry. We have to channel that anger, that fire, to stop this atrocity, to stop the occupation of police forces, to stop the assassination of our children. And you're right, one name is all of our names. And even if you are a person who are not directly affected by this pandemic, just know that every year, at least 1,000 are murdered by local law enforcement throughout the United States of America every year. So don't wait till that time or that year it hits home for you. Organize against police brutality, the criminalization of our youth, the assassination, the murderous pigs. Organize. And whatever you can do, whether you are a firefighter and you want to organize, you can organize. You're a teacher. I know a lot of teachers out here who do organize. And any talent that you have, our movement needs it. We need it. If you're a comedian, tell jokes for the movement. We need you. And one of the most precious things that we do have is culture as a weapon. And Lumi is a part of a beautiful formation called the Peace Poets, who I have the honor to introduce Lou Aya, another person of the Peace Poets, to perform a revolutionary matriarch, a father that just became an activist, an amazing soul. Wherever this person flows through the galaxy, through our multiverse, our hearts are touched, they're warmed, and they're felt. And the energy of Luaya, thank you so much. Just your presence alone is poetry. Just how you just came on, the light that you bring. So thank you so much. Can't wait to hear what you have to offer. Appreciate you, brother.
Peace and blessings, brother. So good to see you. Peace, family. Again, I'm Lou Aya, and it's an honor to be with each of you right now. I just want to give gratitude for your lives. I want to give gratitude for this moment in which we get to be together in grief and in rage, that we get to feel not alone. So thank you so much for the work of seeing each other, hearing each other, feeling each other, supporting each other. This is what it is to stay human amidst a war on Black people, brown people, poor people every single day. And so thank you. Thank you for walking together. Today, I want to sing a song very specifically to our loved ones in the ancestral realm. Today, we come here, we tell the stories of them, we talk about the injustice, we talk about our fight, we talk about our families. I want to thank Angelique and Karen, and for those who have already spoken, right, about Shane, about Andrew, and for those who are here to speak that truth, thank you. And in this moment, we use culture to transcend this realm and talk to our loved ones in the spirit realm, and we simply say to them, come to us, be in us, give us strength to keep on living, loving, fighting, laughing. So we're going to sing a very simple song. Today, it's not just a performance. I'm inviting you wherever you are, whether you're in your kitchen, your living room, your front stoop, to sing with me, to join your voice with mine. And so we're going to sing a song that says, come home, we know you. Come home, we'll hold you. And this is our promise to love beyond all the limits, to stay connected through the power of that love to each other and all of our relatives, especially those who are taken from us too soon. So it goes like this. Come home, we know you. Come home, we'll hold you. Let us sing to them. Come home, we know you. So come on, come home, we'll hold you. And come home, we know you. Come home, we'll hold you. Come to our hearts. Come home, say we know you. Come into our lives. Come home into our laughter. We'll hold you. So we sing, come home to our love. We know you like you mean it. Come home, we'll hold you. 2 more times. Come home, feel their presence. We know you were not alone. Come home, we'll hold you. Last time, say come home. We know you. So come on, come home. We'll hold you. Thank you to all of our loved ones on the other side who are with us, walking with us, keeping us real, powerful, and connected. I love each one of you. Thank you for being here. Peace.
Give thanks, Luaya. You are a breath of sage. That made me want to burn some sage. A reminder, please, everyone, hold yourselves, ground yourselves. I mentioned earlier, put a bowl of water in front of you. Take some time, drink water. These are powerful testimonies. Ibaye Ashe, to Shane once again, to Andrew once again, and to Michael, Ibaye Ashe, and to all the ones that have their lives stolen. We are here, and thank you so much, Luai. We don't know the power of poetry, the power of song, until we feel it in our souls once again. And thank you for bringing that breath of light and life to us, and blessings to you and your family and the little one. Blessings to y'all. The next set of inductions are of Stolen Lives in Maryland and New York. So Andre Smith will be bringing back, and I don't know if you heard me, Andre. I'm hoping maybe there could be a song at some point when you're feeling it. The mother of Justin Smith, who was killed by Tulsa, Oklahoma sheriffs on August 14th, 1998. Andre Smith, welcome back. You're probably on mute, Andre. If you could unmute yourself. I think I hear something. I know Andre was on the phone, so hopefully we didn't lose you completely. And I'll wait to see if my comrades want me to continue with introducing the next families, or are we waiting for Andre? So I'll just make sure that is set for the crew before I continue. And big up once again to Kathy and Lumi for holding down all the tech and organizing in this stream. Big up to KB in Chicago, Ingrid Hill, Jersey, people organizing all the time in the streets. Big up to Baba Zaid. Big up to Scott. Big up to all the families out there. And once again, much love to Juanita. Okay, cool. I got the word. All right. I'll be introducing the next families who'll be receiving certificates. Marion Gray Hopkins, the mother of Gary Hopkins Jr., who was killed in Prince George County, Maryland police on November 27th, 1999. Welcome, Marion, and condolences for your loss. And thank you for telling your story and organizing. We appreciate you.
I thank you for having me. It has been a long time coming. So again, I want to thank each of you for recognizing my son, Gary. I like to often start off by sharing that a lot of times we're asked to share our story at the time of our loved one's demise. And I am one to say that I had Gary for 19 whole years. And so I like to start off with sharing with you all who Gary was versus who Gary was on that specific night. So Gary was, we affectionately called him LG. And Gary was born to myself and my late husband, Gary Hopkins Sr., on June 5th, 1980, again in Prince George's County, Maryland. He was the youngest of our 4 children. Growing up, Gary was a really, really chubby child. I mean, we used to always say that Gary was well beyond his years with the stories that he used to share. He was very, very smart. He was talented. He was the comedian of the family. He was fun-loving and very, very caring and a very free-spirited child. He had a great sense of humor because he was always playing practical jokes on family and friends and was definitely a mommy's daddy's boy. Gary was always loved by all that he came in contact with. He was voted high school king his senior year. And in high school, he played, he did wrestling, he played softball, he was part of the drama team. And he often performed at both school and local talent shows. So, and he was always smiling. Probably when you look at a lot of these photos, you can always see that Gary was always smiling because he was such a happy-go-lucky person. They often would say that Gary had a smile that would light up a room. He loved to write stories, poems, and raps. He was an aspiring local rapper who was often sought out to perform both local and across the DMV, which we call DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And he had a stage name of Fats. He loved supermodel Tyra Banks because he had his whole entire room. I mean, you couldn't see the walls because he had Tyra Banks all over the wall, and said that she would one day be his wife. Some of his favorite foods were snickerdoodles, and he loved my homemade goulash. He used to take Doritos and crunch them up in the goulash, and it looked like a bunch of slop, but he loved it. He also loved the trolls, which surprisingly are still very relevant. His siblings have his trolls, and they all treasure those trolls that he so much loved. At his time of death, Gary was a college student. He was a full-time student, majoring in mass communication with a minor in business management. In addition to that, Gary worked a part-time job at a local nursing home where he used to say he loved talking to the elderly because they were so very, very wise. He was known as a mentor to his very own peer group. And he was looking forward to bringing positive contributions to a world that we know is, for some reason, has something against the majority Black and brown people. In his last term paper, he wrote, it said, "It takes a village." And as you've heard from some of those who have spoken earlier, that's exactly what it's going to take if we are to bring change, to stop adding to this Stolen Lives project. Now let's get to what happened to Gary. On November 27th, 1999, at the age of 19, Gary was murdered by 2 Prince George's County, Maryland police officers while leaving a dance at a local fire station that he had attended with some of his friends and some of his cousins. You see, just 16 days before Gary was murdered, we lost his dad, my husband, to a very short bout with terminal metastatic bone cancer. His supervisors saw that Gary was struggling with the death of his father and invited him to attend this dance in hopes that it would help him through, because Gary loved to perform, as I shared, Gary, and he loved to dance. And so that was his opportunity to kind of take his mind off of the loss of his father on that particular night. As I mentioned, he invited some of his cousins, some of his closest friends attended that dance that night. There was an altercation between one of Gary's friends and someone at the party that particular night. And Gary, as I mentioned previously, was a mentor to his peer group. He was a peacemaker. So that particular night, Gary broke up the fight between, well, it was the altercation, I'm not going to say fight. It was a verbal altercation between his friend and one of the other party goers. And at the end of the dance was getting ready to leave. And when an officer that was performing security that night and someone at the scene alleged that there was drugs, alcohol, and weapons in the vehicle that Gary was a passenger in, of course, there were none of those. There was also the police officer that was off duty doing security that night was the police that patrolled our specific area. He in turn called for backup. And the other officer that came to the scene was his partner. And we learned through all of this that Gary was scheduled to testify against those very two officers, that because he had been aware of excessive force used on someone in the community where we lived. So the second officer shows up, blocks him from exiting the fire station where the dance was held. And the officer gets out of his patrol car with his gun already drawn. And he comes up to where Gary is sitting, ensuring everybody's still located in the car, in their respective vehicles. When he pulled Gary, who was sitting on a window ledge, off of the edge of the window ledge, put the gun to Gary's head, pulled him off, spent him around, when the second officer, his partner, when they're on regular duty, made one gunshot wound to Gary's chest, killing him. As we've seen across this nation over these last 24 years, there is no support given from those that are on the scene. There was no aid rendered. Gary's friend ran up to him to apply pressure to the wound in his chest when Gary was pulled out of the arms of his friend and dragged to the side of the road and left to die. So as you have seen, again, across the nation, there is no justice, as there was no justice 24 years ago when they took my baby's life. There was no justice then. We went through a trial. They say that my family is one of the fortunate ones because there was an indictment against one of the officers, the one who did the fatal shooting, yet the one that incited the incident, there were no charges made. It's okay. I'm sorry, my daughter's having a hard time, guys. There were no charges. So again, we were considered as fortunate. I was very green. I didn't understand the process. I did not recognize that the system is not designed for us that lose our children's lives to police violence. So I trusted the system. I went through a trial, 7-day trial, judge trial, for the judge not to allow any evidence that Gary was scheduled to testify against these two murderers that executed my son, so that he would not have an opportunity to testify against them. They would not, our justice system, allow the coroner to testify that based on the trajectory of the wound that Gary's hands were up. It was a circus. As I've seen in many of these trials across this nation, it has been a circus. There has been no justice. And until we come together, as Gary said, and become the village that we have been chosen to be, and that it not hit our doors, we must come together and show our power so that we can no longer add more lives to the Stolen Lives Project. I was able to have, God bless his soul, Johnny Cochran. I didn't ask for a civil case, but they believe that we should go civilly. If they give us money, that we will just go away. Until they recognize that money could not replace the lives of our loved ones and that the killing needs to stop, and we do our part as of the village, this will continue. I went through all of this. I was catapulted into starting an organization that is called the Coalition of Concerned Mothers. And unfortunately, this organization, guys, is comprised of mothers that have lost their children at the hands of law enforcement. This is not an isolated incident for those that hear my voice. It was said earlier, it can hit any one of our doors at any time, and it is a matter of when. The question I leave you all with is, what will you do? All of us play a role. There's a lane, there is a place, there is something for all of us to do so that we can stop the senseless killing of our loved ones. I forgot to mention that we went through the trial, 7 whole days, a judge trial, or what they call a bench trial, with a judge that was very biased towards policing. There was a prosecution team that used my family as a political pawn in their game so that state's attorney executive, could become the next county executive, which he did. He used my family because he put a prosecuting team together that had never tried a murder case. These things, guys, are happening. We need to open our eyes. It took me losing my son to open my eyes. So I go across this nation and abroad to talk about what it is that we need to do to stop the senseless killing. And I know I probably have gone over my time. Again, I appreciate this opportunity to share Gary with you. The opportunity to be able to tell the world, to those that are listening, that we all need to come together in unity, not talk the BS, but come together as one and stand in solidarity, because divided, this will not conquer the work that we need to do to stop the senseless killing. So I do thank each of you for this opportunity. I thank the Stolen Lives Project for bringing Gary in, and I will leave you with what was said earlier. If we just take the numbers and we just use the 1,000, and we know that more lives are stolen every single year, there's more than 1,000. But if we take just the 1,000, and I look at the years Gary's life was stolen, 1999, that's 24 years. There have been 24,000 stolen lives. 24,000 lives, that can be a part of this Stolen Life Project. Stand up, everybody, and let's do our part. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I believe we have Andre Smith here to read. If not, I will read. But I want to say it's always an honor to hear you speak, the fire that you have, your family standing right behind you, beside you, the strength that y'all possess, and the wisdom that you have as well. And I just love the fire that you keep. And I want to read to you the Stolen Lives Project, formally doing this to the family of Gary Hopkins Jr. on December 2nd, 2023. The name of Gary Hopkins Jr. is formally entered into the Stolen Lives Project, joining tens of thousands, as you mentioned, at least 24,000, if not more than that, of people killed by law enforcement in the U.S. since 1990. These victims who are gathered together in death shout out from their graves for justice. Over 1,000 are killed by this official violence every year. And I love that you mentioned it's definitely way more. It's what's documented, but it is way more. These victims whose lives have been viciously cut short all had lives and families and were part of society, our society, but rarely are their lives or names publicized, nor are their real circumstances surrounding their deaths caused by law enforcement made known. Their names, stories, and faces gathered in the Stolen Lives Project demand of the living to tell the truth of their stories and that there'll be no more stolen lives. We refuse to let Gary die in vain. In his name, we will stop this national pandemic throughout the world. Ashe, Ibaye Ashe to Gary Hopkins. Thank you so much for your energy and your time.
Thank you. And if I could just thank my family and my friends, I know many of them are on. So I wanted to thank them for being here. And again, thank you for having us. Peace.
Peace. Thank you so much. Marion, encouraging people to take whatever action they can in any way that they can and that we can is one of the most powerful things. I salute you for that. And I hope that people take heed to that and do what you can. In light of that, or dark of that, we want to remind people in the chat, there's a GoFundMe, a campaign. I know Kathy had mentioned that we only need to raise $60 for whatever expenses have been incurred. And as I say every year, every time we do this, give more than that, way more than that. We don't need to be trying to find money later. Let's have as much as we can give for the families to continue to work behind the scenes, to continue having people speak wherever they need to speak freely without any worry of resources. That is little that we can do. I know we can all do that. So I would like to also introduce, I don't know if Andre's here. If not, I'll introduce the next family. Yes, I think Andre is here.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you lovely.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. I'm sorry. I had technical difficulties. But
You're right on top. Good.
The next family is the family of Aris Pierre. He was killed by the NYPD December 20th, 2021. Hello, family. Is Charlie and Shayna Bennett?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. And hello, everyone. Peace, love, light.
You know, I would like for you. We would like for you to tell us about what you'd like to share about your cousin.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for giving us this platform to allow us to talk about Pierre. I want to say Pierre was a young Black 26-year-old man with hopes and dreams for him and his family. He wanted to retire his mom. He always talked about buying a house for him, his mother, and his brother. He was a community man. He loved to help people in the neighborhood, whether it was helping them with their groceries, delivering food, always holding a door and sharing his smile. A hardworking man, an ambitious man, an artistic man. He did music, he wrote stories. He would put on showcases for the local artists to express themselves and their talents. A caring man, a man of all trades. He could do anything he put his mind to, from playing basketball in high school and college, to working construction, working moving jobs, and most importantly, he was a human. Instead of calling my cousin to ask him how he is doing, we are now calling his name in protest. His personality was so great, and his presence is missed. A diagnosis should not be a death sentence. He is an entity that, although he is not here physically, his spirit is always near and felt because he left a memory and everyone that he crossed paths with. It is bittersweet that Pierre is inducted into this Stolen Lives. And we walk in solidarity with all the families and lives stolen unjustly. This is an epidemic, and the government is putting a mask on it. Like the flu, like COVID, we need a vaccine. We need laws to protect our loved ones. No more victims. No more victims.
As my sister says, no more victims, which I'd like to echo that, along with how the other families are saying that just because our families are killed doesn't mean that their spirit or what they can be dies with them. So that's why we make sure that Erd's name and his spirit and his legacy carries on. So even though the Attorney General, Letitia James, did not decide to charge these officers and have them have their day in front of a grand jury, we still seek justice. And justice for us was from day one, denouncing NYPD suicide by cop claims. See, that's the first thing that police do when they kill those we love and whom they don't care about or have a human connection to. They use Erd's passive suicide attempts to dismiss his cry for help. They made claims he left a suicide note, and they attempted to tarnish his credibility and dignity to justify Erd's murder. We then had a street co-naming on Eastern Parkway and Utica in Brooklyn. a major intersection of mass transportation and the Mecca of the West Indian Caribbean Labor Day Parade. To us, it was where Erd lived. It shaped his upbringing, his beliefs, his shortcomings, and his aspirations, his love for family and community. On December 20th, 2021, NYPD tried to tarnish that place. We once again fought that narrative and returned to that space, Earth Spirit. So as you see his name, a symbol of love and hope and advocacy and change and reform and determination. And we return to that space, Earth Spirit. We're also now working on transforming crisis response, mental health awareness with emphasis on ending the stigma, advocating for resources, support, funding, normalizing and sustaining mental health for a long, productive life, working with and leaning on impacted families like Angelique and Valerie and Marissa, various organizations to remove police from crisis response and replace them with peer-led individuals who are well-trained with personal experience. They'll be culturally responsive, trauma-informed. Their response will be person-centered, so persons in that vulnerable state are validated, heard, and supported. So please support efforts in your communities and states for real reform and change. Here in New York, you could support Daniel's Law. You could advocate for transparency and effectiveness to be heard. You could be part of organizations like Correct Crisis Intervention Today, whom I am a part of, and we're on the front lines of these initiatives and efforts. Sign the petition for the Pierre Law and urge people to call 988 instead of 911 when in distress or experiencing crisis. And most importantly, just love on each other, and it's okay to not be okay and to ask for help. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your energy, your time, your organizing. Sheena, I also had the privilege to meet you in the streets, so it was an honor to hear you speak then and see your fire now. And definitely, I would like to read this certificate for you and your family. And we're here for you. We're here for you. And I don't know if the people out there can really feel from when we started this, Marissa passing it to Angelique, and how everyone's kind of really familiar with each other because they're organizing with each other and they're holding each other. This is not just a platform where you see on YouTube or whatever, or online organizing. People are actually holding each other. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And if you could stand with us even closer so that it's not too much weight on any one family, that would be really appreciated. Stolen Lives Project to the family of Pierre. On December 2nd, 2023, the name of Pierre is formally entered into the Stolen Lives Project, joining tens of thousands of people killed by law enforcement in the United States alone since 1990. These victims who are gathered together in death shout out from their graves for justice. Over 1,000 are killed by this official violence every year. These victims whose lives have been viciously cut short all had lives and families and were a part of our society. But rarely are their lives, their names are publicized, nor are the real circumstances surrounding their deaths caused by law enforcement made known. Their names, stories, and faces gathered in the Stolen Lives Project demand of the living to let the truth of their stories and that there be no more stolen lives. We refuse to let Erds die in vain. In his name, we will stop this national pandemic. I'll say worldwide pandemic, national epidemic. That's what it is, right? That's what it really is. And thank you so much for your work again, for organizing. And I would like to say to you and to all the families, please put organizations in the chat, any petitions that need to be signed, any next steps for you and your cases for the families. Thank you, King, for announcing that and backstage. We would really encourage you all to keep promoting the cause so that we can spread it worldwide. Thank you so much. At this moment, it is another moment for a cultural presentation. And as we mentioned earlier, culture is our weapon. Fortunately for the oppressor and white supremacy, it is currently many of our weapons of choice. And they're lucky for that. And we are honored to have one of my longtime comrades who, whenever you call, he's there. Whenever you look around in the streets, he's there. He has your back, your front, your side. My brother from another mother. One of my favorite lines that I always like to announce, that I use poetry to promote my political propaganda. My man, Khalil Khan, who I think just dropped off. Where you at, brother? Well, as we wait to get him back on, he seems to have dropped off. Okay, cool. Shouting out one more, the October 22nd Coalition, Maroon Party for Liberation, People's Organization for Progress, Malcolm X Grassroots Movement, Malcolm X Commemoration Committee, Free Palestine, free all our political prisoners. Big up to the Black Panthers. Big up to the Black Liberation Army, the Young Lords, all those who've taken up arms, who've put their lives to stop this pandemic that we're speaking of today, to come in between the tools of the oppressor, of this white supremacist system, and having people protect property, using property over people, and not attending to the needs of the people until we dismantle the prison system, until we dismantle the police departments, federal governments, and all that. Until we do that, we will continue to organize and revolutionize. If Khalil's back on, all right, he's not on yet. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, hello. I'm sorry, I got cut off. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. No, you good, man.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry. Peace, love, Yahuru. My name is Khalil Khan, Movement in Motion representative, affiliate. I hope everyone is well. I just got a quick piece called 3 Shift Plots. And so I'm reading from a piece of paper. They said that they have to prove that any black youth who succumbed to revolutionary ideology will become a dead revolutionary. That's why they murdered our mentors. They killed Lumumba. They killed Malcolm. They killed Hampton and Clark. They killed Jackson. I'm sure had she not escaped, they would have killed Asada. They continue plotting, working every day to put us in coffins, blood from our bodies. I don't know why they want to do us harm. Is it because we taught the truth no matter what they thought? We spoke out for justice no matter what the cost. We didn't just take it, we fought. They continue to move against us. They attack us with lies, beatings, stabs, and gunshots. But no matter how many of us you kill, you can't bury our dreams. It's impossible to put out the fire that burns within our souls. You fail to see, no matter how many of us you imprison, you cannot jail our spirits. Those who slaughtered become martyrs, feeding our frustrations, fueling the fire to push the movement further. We will never die. Instead, we will continue to grow in the name of Malcolm, Asada, and Che. So you can't hold us down in the name of Garvey, Harriet Tubman, no matter what. We are always fighting back and speaking the truth for those who choose to listen. We will fight to the bitter end, refusing upon's position. Yeah, that's it. It's called 3 Shift Plots. In other words, the enemy moves in 3 shifts a day.
3 Shift Plots. Right on, my brother. Thank you so much for joining and for being always here and spreading your love and your words and wisdom. We appreciate you.
All right. Peace, love, and Yahuru. Yahuru Sasa.
Peace, love, Yahuru. All right, y'all. Uhuru Sasa, freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. In order to have freedom now, we need to organize now. In order to organize now, we need to wake up. And if you've been sleeping for a while, and this is not a wake-up call for you, to get your friends, family, loved ones, anyone that you can speak to, reach to organize against police oppression, repression throughout our nation and throughout our worlds. Our worlds. It is here. It is happening. At this moment, I want to call up Valerie Dale for the next inductions of our Stolen Lives for New Jersey and South Carolina. Valerie Dale is the sister of retired Army Major Gulia Dale III, who was killed by Newton, New Jersey police on July 4th, 2021. Welcome, Valerie.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy feedback. As Spirit Child said, I am the one of the sisters of a only brother, Major Gulia Dale III, who was murdered on July 4th, 2021, during the firework finale in New Jersey after a 911 call for help went out because he was suffering with a mental health crisis and suffering with PTSD. When the police arrived on the 4th, they only gave my brother 12 seconds, and then he was killed. My brother served the Army for 42 years, a decorated officer. My brother had a master's in business administration. He worked as an EEO officer at the Pentagon. He was a husband. He was a father of 3 daughters. He loved to fish. He also worked at the Picatinny Arsenal in Sussex County. And as I stated before he was murdered, he worked at the United States Pentagon. After 2 years of waiting to find out what was going to happen with these officers and how they brutally murdered my brother, on February 9th, 2023, the grand jury declined to file charges against Officer Garrett Armstrong and Officer Stephen Nido. I will continue the fight to stop police brutality, and I want to urge everyone to call 988 in a crisis situation. We need to all stick together. Also, in New Jersey, we need a bill passed, A1515, for a strong civilian complaint review board. We need to review policies and practices and actions of local police department and officers. We must have legal authority to oversee law enforcement office agencies and to have power to conduct independent and concurrent investigations of wrongdoing by officers. Also, we need authority to issue subpoenas. So we need this bill passed, A1515. At this time, I would like to have a family join us from New Jersey who loved one also was struggling with a mental health crisis at the time he was murdered. I would like to introduce 3 powerful aunts who are on the front lines of fighting justice in Jersey City, New Jersey, for their nephew, Andrew Jerome Washington, who was just murdered a little over 3 months ago in August. They are attempting to make changes to how police engage with individuals having a mental health crisis. Welcome, Tony, Lisa, and Denise. Sorry for your loss. I would like to read the Stolen Lives Project certificate to induct Andrew Jerome Washington to the family of Andrew Jerome Washington on December 2nd, 2023. The name of Andrew Jerome Washington III is formally entered into the Stolen Lives Project, joining tens of thousands of people killed by law enforcement in the U.S. since 1990. These victims who are gathered together in death shout out from their graves for justice. Over 1,000 are killed by this official violence every year. These victims, whose lives have been viciously cut short, all had lives and families who were a part of society. But rarely are their lives or names publicized, nor are the real circumstances surrounding their deaths caused by law enforcement made known. Their names, stories, and faces gathered in the Stolen Lives Project demand of the living to tell the truth of their stories and that there be no more stolen lives. We refuse to let Andrew die in vain. In his name, we will stop the national epidemic. Thank you again for being with us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tony Irvin, and I'm the aunt of Andrew Jerome Washington. On August 27th, Andrew Jerome Washington III, affectionately known as Drew, a beloved community, a beloved member of Jersey City community, his neighborhood. He was a son, a grandson, nephew, brother, and friend to many. Was killed by officers Stephen Gilgante, who shot him twice, and tased by Officer Felix de la Cruz from the Jersey City ESU Police Department. There was a call made out to the Jersey City Medical Center Crisis Unit. However, it escalated. Instead of them de-escalating the problem or calling in the crisis intervention, somehow the police were called, and then the ESU department. These officers came in with deadly force. There was no de-escalation, no crisis intervention. It resulted in Drew being shot and killed in his home. We're thankful for this platform to just bring awareness to Drew and his wonderful life. Drew was diagnosed with bipolar over 26 years ago, but he had lived a full life and worked and everything. But on August 27th, he was suffering we were noticing him suffering through a bipolar episode. However, the way the police showed up for him was with brutal force. They came in as if he was a criminal. We have been rallying and creating and bringing people together within our community. Our local leaders and different organizations have come to our aid and supported us in creating marches on behalf of Drew, bringing more awareness. We've been going into City Hall talking about this. My sisters will share a little bit more information about that, but I ask that people continue to fight against these injustices that are happening to our families. What happened to Drew never should happen to another family. He was having a mental crisis. And instead of sending people to de-escalate or mental health people to help the situation, the police were called. And they came in as if he was a criminal, someone that was causing a problem against or a crime, when we were saying he needed help. And he was killed. And mental health should not be a death sentence. We are very humble by the support that we have received from people. We're thankful for the Stolen Lives Induction Ceremony, just to bring more awareness to Drew's cause, and just having the support of people. But we still are in the fight and making sure that mental health challenges are not looked at as a stigma or a discrimination against people, but as cry for help. And that our police officers should show up as if they're there as the people hired or paid by our tax dollars to protect and serve us. Denise.
Hello, I'm Denise Irvin Davis, Andrew Jerome Washington's aunt. I am advocating for change in the police department and the crisis response in Jersey City, New Jersey. We have been going to City Hall advocating since the death of Drew. They put Band-Aids in regard to programs that they had established for Drew. At the event of his death, they placed on the table a mobile response unit, which was only 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and with police collaboration. I got voted down 0 to 8. Well, we got it voted down 0 to 8. But I'm on a mission to advocate for everyone in crisis in our community. And right now, we're putting another proposal together and also collaborating or trying to collaborate with the police department, because as they're trying to change the way they handle mental health crises and people with behavioral issues, to use the 988 number or changing the 911 response in Jersey City. But the one thing is clear, that the police department murdered my nephew. And they just put on the table another CIT training program, where when I asked, there was no change in collaboration with the mental health people, or even training for mental health of people in crises. So I'm advocating for change in the police department. And I spoke to the director just this Wednesday in regard to this program that he has, which has not included anything in regard to mental health crises, people suffering from various behavioral issues. So we're advocating for change. The CCRB program commission, and just overall awareness of mental health, illness, and behavioral and substance abuse in our community, and how we address it. And definitely the police department needs to change in their empathy and how they approach situations that they're not equipped to deal with. And until they change their crisis intervention training, we will continue to have deaths by police officers. So I want people to join us in fighting for the A1515 for the CRB, and also advocating for change in crisis intervention training for police officers throughout the nation, where there is some behavioral training in regard to mental health crises and behavioral and substance abuse crises in our community. So I like to thank everyone that has supported us, the Stolen Lives Commission, and Pop, Larry Ham, Zaid, many people in our community have continued support. But I will say one thing, that if we all don't man together and request reform for the police department, this will continue to happen. Thank you.
My name is Lisa Mendez. Thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts on the stolen life of my beloved nephew, Andrew Jerome Washington. On August 27th, that fateful day when his life was abruptly taken from us, our world shattered into a million pieces. The pain of losing him, the void left in our hearts, is indescribable. The circumstances now surrounding his unjustly killing remains concealed with the state attorney general, leaving our family in doubt, with unanswered questions and a sense of profound injustice. Our family now is working to shed the light on Drew's stolen life, to bring attention to injustice that has befallen upon him, and to raise awareness about the countless others who have suffered the similar fate. We refuse to let his memory fade away, silently buried beneath the weight of injustice and indifferences. Together, we need to continue to amplify our voices, demand accountability, and to seek the truth that will bring closure to the brokenhearted families. We plan to continue to inspire change, to ignite conversation, and to foster a world where no life is stolen, no dreams remain unfulfilled, and no family is left to deal with the pain of loss of a loved one. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for the induction of Stolen Lives with Andrew Jerome Washington, and thank you all the people in the community that has been available to our families since this crisis.
Thank you again, Tony, Lisa, and Denise for sharing your impacted story. And we are here for you, the Fair to Fight. We are going to stand in solidarity with you. And sorry again for your loss. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to also say thank you to National Family Coalition. Thank you to People Organization for Progress. Thank you for NJCAP for standing with all of the families that have had family murdered by police. And we give us a strong CCRB in New Jersey and passes A15. Thank you. Right now, I would like to welcome a mother who is fighting for justice for the wrongful death of her son, Rebecca Manis, mother of Robert Manis, killed by Anderson, South Carolina police on October 14, 2021, who should still be here with us today. Welcome, Rebecca, and sorry for your loss.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. I would like to induct Robert Manis on December 2nd, 2023. The name of Robert Manis is fully entered into the Stolen Lives Project, joining tens of thousands of people killed by law enforcement in U.S. since 1990. These victims who are gathered together in death shout out from their graves for justice. Over 1,000 are killed by this official violence every year. These victims whose lives have been viciously cut short all had lives and families and were part of society, but rarely are their lives or names publicized, nor are the real circumstances surrounding their deaths caused by law enforcement made known. Their names, stories, and faces gathered in the Stolen Lives Project demand of the living to tell the truth of their stories and that there be no more stolen lives. We refuse to let Robert die in vain. In his name, we will stop this national epidemic. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me start by telling you a little bit about Robert. He was 39 years old. He had 5 kids and he had a baby on the way. His baby's name is Robert Allen Manis Jr. I am raising the baby and his 4.5-year-old son. I have full custody of both of them now, but Robert never got to meet his baby. He was an awesome daddy. All I had to do was say, Robert, let's take the kids to the zoo. Let's go. You want to go to the mountains, take them to Santa's Land? Let's go. I mean, it didn't matter. He was always there. And Jace was like daddy's baby, my 4.5-year-old now. He was always with his daddy. His daddy, he'd come home late sometimes. Jace be wanting to ride his motorcycle. So Robert would take him out there and ride him up and down the road on the motorcycle. He was such a good daddy. He was a good brother. I raised my children close. He had 2 brothers and a sister that this devastated, as well as many more family members and people in this community that he impacted. I ain't had anybody other than the police say anything bad about my son. Robert was at his brother's house on October the 14th of 2021. He left there on a Harley, and there were 6 officers in 3 units waiting for him. He was a target. I'm not sure. I have a good idea why, but I'm not really sure why. There was 2 across the road from my son's house that said, radioed ahead and said, find a reason to stop that motorcycle. They invented a reason. They said he didn't use his turn signal, but they didn't stop him immediately. They followed him to the other end of the road that he turned on, and then they blue lighted him. Their story is that he stopped. When they got close to him, he took off. He ran from them. The night he was killed, they told the news people that he opened fire, and they returned fire and killed him. That was not true. He did have a gun with him that he had just bought to resell. And I don't believe he ever fired the gun. I have begged for the gunpowder residue test to be done on his hands, and they won't do it. SLED refuses to run the gunpowder residue test on his hands. When they jump out of the car on their staged video, he says, "Look, man, you riddled our car with bullets." Yet, every bullet hole in that car, none of them came from his gun. The SLED report says there was 5 bullet fragments found in the car. Not one of them came from Exhibit 52, which was my son's gun. The passenger officer fired his gun 6 times on his own body camera through his windshield after my son was dead and extracted from under the car. He fired his gun, jumped out, ran around to hold a gun on my son who was already dead and extracted out from under the car. There are so many discrepancies in their stories, so many lies that they've told. The officers that killed my son were found to be done nothing wrong by their superior, which is Chad McBride, the sheriff of Anderson County. 4 days after he was dead, they were back on the street. SLED had all the evidence. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division had all of the evidence. But he found them not guilty. So then SLED finds them not guilty. They didn't do anything wrong. They shot out their own windshield. They admittedly run over my son and parked their car on top of him after they shot him in the back twice on his Harley. He hit a guardrail, landed left of center in the grass. He was ran over, drugged down the road, and the car, he was from the waist down up under the car, according to their mate report. When his body cam comes on and they jump out of the car, the driver jumps over my son's feet. When they roll him over, the driver's flashlight and a spent shell casing's up under his body, but nobody can't tell me how that got there. I have been to SLED. I've been to the Public Corruptions Task Force at the FBI. I've been to the Attorney General's office in Washington, D.C. I've contacted governors, senators, everybody that I can think of to just let me come in and show you what I have. Show me how you can say that this was justified. And nobody will. So I don't know where to take it to. I'm going to take his story public like across this country soon in podcasts and YouTube videos. In the meantime, they had me set up because I'm going after them. They're going after me. I was set up with drugs. I don't do drugs. I can pass a hair strand drug test any day of the week. But I have one of the worst drug charges you can get. And I have proof that I was set up. I have proof they followed me from my house. The girl gave me what was supposed to be money and it turned out to be drugs. Or they said it did. I never seen what was in the bag. Never opened the bag. Never looked at it. Never seen what I had or knew what I had until they charged me with it the next day. They are after me, trying to put me in jail for the rest of my life. And from there, I'll still fight for my son. So this police force in Anderson, South Carolina is one of the most corrupt police forces that I have witnessed. And I've talked to a lot of people. I joined Racial Justice Network after my son was killed. And I've talked to a lot of people. And a lot of people are scared of Anderson County. A lot of people won't step forward and tell their story. But I will, because I'm not scared. If they kill me, I'll get to see my son a little bit sooner. And if they don't, one day I'll find somebody that's going to listen to me. And in the meantime, when I went to church right after my son got killed, I said, "God, why'd you take my baby? I'd have gladly took his place." And he said, "Sometimes I take the one to help the many." So he put me in this fight. And I'm going to fight till I die. And it don't matter to me what they do to me. I don't think God gave me my son's babies to raise for me to wind up in prison. I've never had a drug charge in my life. And the same unit that killed my son was the unit that just randomly pulled me over on 85 after this girl gave me this bag that was supposed to have my adopted son's money in it. And it was tied up in a black plastic bag. And I just tossed it behind the seat of my truck. And as soon as I pulled out her driveway, they started following me. And they followed me till they pulled me over on the interstate. And then they tell me they just did a random drug stop. Guess why? I failed to use my turn signal quick enough. That's amazing. That's why they wanted to kill my son. Or want to stop my son because he didn't use the turn signal. And it's the same unit. It's the direct patrol unit. And within less than 3 minutes, there was a drug dog on scene to search my truck. It was a setup all the way set up. And I'm fighting now to prove that. But my son's life meant something, and your son's lives mean something to me, and your daughter's lives mean something to me. And this has got to stop. There's a boy named Chance Partain that was killed in 2016. And my kids came to me and they said, Mama, you need to help Penny because she don't know what she's doing. And they murdered Chance. And I said, I'm raising grandkids. My husband was in and out of the hospital. I was working 10 hours a day. SLED's investigating. I'm sure they'll do a good job. They didn't. Okay. Fast forward to 2021, God takes my son. My son is buried at Chance Partain's feet. That was a message from God that I should have been in this fight a long time ago. But I have done everything I know to do, and I'm open to suggestions from anybody. I've got people wanting to do podcasts and things for me to get his message out there, and I'm fixing to do that as well as my message out there. They just charged me with another crime a few days ago in a federal court. And like I said, I don't do drugs. I don't sell drugs. I don't condone that. I'm raising my son's babies. There's no possible way I would take that kind of chance. But they're setting me up with it to shut me up. I'll never shut up. And I thank you very much for everything y'all are doing and for letting me tell a story.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. We thank you for everything you're doing. We're many of us are here to support, and a lot of us are here to be utilized. So please do put any information in the chat. You know the main organizers. However, we can continue to spread the word. This is for your son or whatever. And it's really have to scale tactics of trying to get at you. You know, when you're doing the work of finding justice for your son, when they're the ones that are in the wrong. So we really stand in solidarity with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you all know what we have to do. We have been here for the call. Please, I hope you are sharing this far and wide. Please repost it. Donate to the GoFundMe that has been put in the chat. Thank you, KB. Thank you, Ingrid, for keeping the chat flowing and growing. And thank you, everybody else who's been tuning in from different parts of the world. And please do share. Once again, I want to reiterate from this particular set of inductions, 988. Never, ever again. If you were in question, no 911, 988, right? 988. That's the number. That's what you call. Thank you, Lumi, for putting it on the screen. Please call or text 988, and that's the lifeline.org 24/7. This is something that we need to learn from each other as a community. Ibaye Ashe to retired Army General Major Gulia Dale. Ibaye Ashe to Andrew Jerome Washington III. Ibaye Ashe to Robert Manus. Please protect our loved ones. Keep them close to your heart. And the mothers, we love you. We are here for you. Revolutionary matriarchs, the mothers are the ones. And we can go on and on why this doesn't make any sense. The mothers are here speaking and their children are not here with them. All of these children need to be here with us. They're a part of our community. They're a part of our soul. They're a fabric of our existence. And all the ancestors, Ibaye Ashe. I'd like to call up someone who is another cultural warrior, who speaks truth to power. Remember, we keep telling you not to forget and to utilize whatever you do, whether you're a teacher, a pedagogue, a performing artist, a chef, however you work in this world, whatever tools this higher force has given you, please somehow make a parallel, make a connection with the injustices of this world and use your talents and service our communities because we need you. And one person who does that very well, Jen Dog, Lone Wolf, I had the pleasure of rocking alongside Jen Dog for many, many years. Black Native, Two-Spirit Truth, hip-hop MC, cultural worker, photographer, pedagogue, artist extraordinaire, Jen Dog. What up, what up? Peace.
Peace and blessings, everybody, and much love to these families. And I love y'all. You don't know me, but I love y'all. And yeah, so thank y'all for bringing your stories. And so I want to do a song. It's called "State of the World," and hopefully all my sound is rocking. So yeah, I'm here for y'all.
The people, there is no movement. You are the movement. You dictate the movement. You lead the movement. And if you cannot seize this moment in history to define a movement that is your movement and your pain and your suffering.
State of the world. Hopefully my sound holds up. Come on, sound, work with me here. Sorry, everybody. All right, here we go. I don't know if that could be heard. All right. Most victims are not a pot to piss in. I like that cause of shicey politicians. Protest but they don't get paid to listen. Hands up and it ain't our palms they glisten. Still open season on blacks and native women. Still cracks in this bad cycle system. Corrupt leaders cause the people didn't pick them. Medical and food industry is sickening. Hey yo, where do I start? So intertwined, premeditated, ill-fated victims. This hierarchy is post-dated. Intentions evil, delivering speeches unbelievable. There ain't no good sequel. Be victor, the beast will eat you. It's already ceased to be an engine to serve the people. Governmental, 2 words of the evil that men do. The fraudulent Babylon got our youngins on heroin. People lost in the forefront with barely foundation to stand on. Barricaded in worlds, enveloping girls. No direction, insurrection. My kitchen stay curled. Fools running around like heads with soft torsos. Who satisfied with morsels? Remember what life taught you. Divided, we're conquered. Together, we're not lost. What's the method for together? Well, it won't exceed the cost. And that's for sure. Your fight should be my fight and mine yours. Tolerating a pause. Get the verbs off pause. Get the verbs off pause. You tolerating a pause. Get them verbs off pause. So yeah, we're all on this big bike ride to a free and just world, you know? And the way I see it, we're all part of that bicycle. Some people are the handlebars, some people are the tassel, some people are the balance, some people are the spokes, the rims, the tires, some people are the swag on it. Like, and we really just need to come together. And also, I believe in the power of boycotts. Like, we need to give up some things that we're holding on to. Most victims were not a pot to piss in. I like that cause of shicey politicians. Protest but they don't get paid to listen. Hands up and it ain't our palms that glisten. Still open season on blacks and native women. Still cracks in this bad cycle system. Corrupt leaders cause the people didn't pick them. Medical and food industry is sickening. We're yeah. Babies crying ripped from the arms of their moms, and poor dad brown buckets broken worn, disappeared with no regards. Life already been hard, working for the man until you die in the job. Filthy greedy slobs, not much change since Africa. They stole people, then added evil to formula, created cheap labor, free mad heat, slave labor, evolved a mad beef in these streets. So I spit my piece on this beat unique. I need my people healthy, brain, teeth to feet. Medicare, health scare, seem like no one with wealth care about this brown melanation. Cards ain't dealt fair. There's too many humans whose food supply is too bare, and too many children, too many secrets to bear. Too many poor created cause the wealthy don't care. Too many doctors selling drugs, too much corporate welfare. Get the verbs off pause. You tolerating on pause. Get the verbs off pause. We're on that bike ride to freedom and justice. Thank you.
Thank you for your work and your words. That bike ride to freedom. I just want to read a few things that people are saying in the chat because I know you were rocking and doing your thing. Greensboro says, "What up?" Shout out to all the artists on this call. Much love, Jen Dog. Rosa Bettina says, "Jen Dog, thank you for working with the youth and inspiring the next generation to stand
Y'all
up
too.
the system." Thank you so much for everything that you do, and there's more. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Fire, fire,
All right.
fire.
All right,
So
bless.
peace,
Hey, I went to
peace.
college in Greensboro.
Hey, that's all. There it is. Say it. Right on. Thank you so much, Young Dog. And again, we need, if you're a young aspiring artist, um, maybe you're a cousin, maybe you a nephew, a niece, somebody sitting there listening and watching all this. We need your joy in this movement. We need your energy. We need your fire. We need your fuel. This is how we work as a community. So please join and build the National Emergency Response Network. No more accepting the unacceptable. No more stolen lives. And you can see how to get in touch with 022.org, October 22nd Coalition at Gmail. That's 022national@gmail.com. Please do support, get involved, organize with us. We need you. We need you. And if anybody wants to put something in the chat that you're doing, I did read Baba Zaid says Jersey, December 7th, Legislative Day of Action at the State House in Trenton. Pass the People's United Agenda bills. Whatever it is you're working on locally, we can still push internationally. So please don't shy away from putting whatever you're working on in the chat, especially trying to dismantle white supremacy, specifically through the auspice and chokeholds of the police and local law enforcement. These last set of inductions, we're at the last hall, and I thank you all for being here and being so active in the chat. Probably at home, I know it's a lot to feel and to hold, and we all here to hold it together. We all here to hold it together. The last set is for North Carolina and Colorado. The certificate will be presented by Kimberly Vaughn, the former wife of Muhammad Isfan, who was killed by Akron, Ohio police on December 15th, 2019. Kimberly, a pleasure to see you again. Unfortunately, under these circumstances, but it's always an honor to hear you speak. Thank you so much for your passion.
And thank you, Spirit. You're always such a calm and comforting force to us families who have to do this. It's not the easiest thing to have to tell your loved one's story over and over again. So I was honored for my Muhammad to be inducted last year. And I'm just going to take a couple quick minutes to give you guys just a little bit of background and then proceed on with our newest inductees. On December 15th, 2019, we are coming up on his 4-year anniversary. In the 1300 block of Britain Road in Akron, Ohio, my Muhammad was shot 15 times and killed by 2 Akron police officers. This is the same department that killed a more high-profile victim, namely Jalen Walker. Was not the same officers, however. My Muhammad had ran out of fuel and was running home to get his gas can out of the basement. And 3 houses away from home, he was approached by 2 Akron police officers with their guns already drawn immediately upon exiting an unmarked vehicle. My Muhammad was sitting on the ground. He stood up, he put his hands in the air, took a shot to the chest, and then proceeded to turn and run for his life. They said that he appeared to pull a gun on them. However, they didn't have any body cams on to back that up. They, however, did turn the body cams on after killing him, long enough for me to see him be harassed by them post-mortem. They handcuffed him so hard that the autopsy noted severe handcuff wounds. And he was left in a field in 15-degree weather with no barricades, no blanket, no tent, no cover of any kind, with his pants ripped down around his ankles. He was also not given any first aid for the first 2 minutes, even though the officers could hear him taking labored breaths and blood bubbling out of his back. Luckily enough, we do have an eyewitness and a surveillance video from across the street that shows my Muhammad was not a threat. So the baby girl that I share with Muhammad, herself and myself have filed federal civil charges in Cleveland, Ohio against the 2 officers who killed our Muhammad. And neither one of the officers have been reprimanded in any way. One of them continues to be a trainer to this day that brags about training the officers who killed Jayland Walker. So I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be here and present, and we'll move on with our newest inductees. So I would like to move on to our next stolen life and their family. We have the mother of Shakur McNair. Her name is Alfrika Bennett. Shakur, our newest angel inductee, was killed by Fayetteville, North Carolina police on October 13th, 2013. So, to the family of Shakur McNair, it is my honor and pleasure on December 2nd, 2023, the name of Shakur McNair is formally entered into the Stolen Lives Project, joining tens of thousands of people killed by law enforcement in the U.S. since 1990. These victims who are gathered together in death shout out from their graves for justice. Over 1,000 are killed by this official violence every year. These victims whose lives have been viciously cut short all had lives and families and were part of society, but rarely are their lives and names publicized, nor are the real circumstances surrounding their deaths caused by law enforcement made known. Their names, stories, and faces gathered in the Stolen Lives Project demand to the living to tell the truth of their stories and that there will be no more stolen lives. We refuse to let Shakur die in vain, and in his name, we will stop this national epidemic. Please help me in welcoming his mother, Alfrika Bennett.
Hello, my name is Alfrika Bennett. I am Shakur McNair's mother. On October the 13th, Shakur was gunned down by Christopher Hunt, Fayetteville Police Department. It was a Sunday after church, and it was an altercation at the house. But Shakur was not home. He ended up coming home when the officer pulled up. Christopher Hunt pulled up by himself, didn't have his lights on. He was young. He was a young rookie. He hopped out the car with his shades on. It was told that they didn't have a camera because he didn't have his camera on. And he proceeded to go to my son, and he went to the wrong person. Went from one person to the next person, and he had the wrong person at first. And it was like everything just happened so fast. And he turned around, and Shakur was standing in the yard next to the house, and his hands was up, and Officer Hunt just shot him. And I started going towards Shakur, and he told me, "If you move, I will shoot you." Shakur, I couldn't get to Shakur. When I was able to hear him, and his last words was, "Mama, he shot me. He shot me for no reason." Needs to mind, this officer still had his shades on. Shakur was very athletic. He joked a lot. He was into fashion. He had got a scholarship in beginner's art and poet. And he didn't get to use it. He was only 16 years old when he was killed. He didn't even have time to sin. This officer was asked by another officer that came on the scene, "Why did you shoot that young man?" Christopher said, "I was scared." They did nothing to him. He didn't get charged. Shakur, he didn't have a gun. The camera showed that they put a gun in the yard. They planted a gun. Shakur didn't have a gun on him. Asked to do fingerprints on the gun. They didn't do that because they know it wasn't his. They talked about me. They stopped me for no reason. He even had the nerve to send a letter to my house on a Christmas, the day before Christmas in 2019. He wanted to meet with me to apologize to me. They didn't do nothing about that. In the midst, I went through a lot. I mean, with them saying, I was a bad mother. I was put out my house because the owner didn't want me there because they said I was trouble. I had a hard time finding a place while still trying to fight for justice for my son. It didn't do no good. They locked me up, locked my oldest son up, and my twins, and they were only 13 at the time. They had them down on the ground at gunpoint. They didn't do anything. So we went years of being harassed by the police. To this day, we still ain't got justice. He's still on the force. Seen him in the store one day, and he had the nerve to smirk at me. They didn't do anything about it. They still ain't doing nothing about it. They still taking our young men's life, our young daughter's life. They're not trained. These rookies are not trained. These older ones are not trained. So it's been a battle. It's been a battle, but I'm still here and I'm still going to fight till the end. And I stand with every mother, every father, every aunt, uncle, sister, brother, with everybody that has been a victim of police brutality. And I thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much, Mother Afrika, for sharing Shakur's story with us this evening. We are very sorry for your loss, and but we welcome you with open arms and embrace you. And it's a club none of us want to be in, but we just wanted to show you some love and support, as with all of the families here this evening. So
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, next then, Spirit, should I move on to the next inductee? Yes, okay, got the thumbs up there. All right. Next, I would like to induct, this is a very special family. They have had two people in their family that have been affected by police violence. And the first victim in this family that I would like to introduce is David Jackson Page. He was killed by El Paso County, Colorado SWAT under the direction of Monument, Colorado Police on September 29th, 2019. We just had his 4-year anniversary a couple months ago. Also, the other victim in the family is Alan Albertis, who passed away on April 29th, 2004, while under a multi-agency task force in Colorado. Also, I wanted to help out the family. There has been some new developments that I wanted to mention because it's happening right now for this family, and it's a very sensitive situation. David Jackson Page The family was lied to that he was cremated without their consent. And I don't know how many of you heard on the news, but David was one of the victims of the funeral home in Colorado, who was found to have improperly stored probably around 200 bodies in the basement. David Jackson Page, unfortunately, is one of these victims. We're not going to go into the details of that. If you would like to learn more about that, you can definitely look it up on the news. But I wanted to take that off of the family, being that it is happening right now and it's super sensitive, and it's basically making this family go back through this process all over again. So a little cushion there. I want to have all of you help me in welcoming Christina Page to the floor. Take it away, sister.
Thank you, Kim. My name is Christina Page. I am the daughter of Alan Albertis and the mother of David Jackson Page. And as Kim said, my family is going through some crazy, horrendous stuff right now. And I welcome questions another time. But Kim, I appreciate you for mentioning that so that I don't have to go into it a lot right now. My family was a family that, sorry, that picture always gets me. That's my son. My dad raised me to, love our family and to support community and that sort of thing. And at some point in his life, in the late 90s, mid 90s, he became a grassroots civil rights activist in Denver, Colorado. And while he was doing his work in Denver and fighting for justice for people in the community who didn't have a voice, he was killed while under investigation by a multi-agency task force. At the time I was 25, I didn't know that police killings were a thing. And I was always very open that he had been killed by our government. But I don't know that I called it what it was. I still wanted to believe in a civilized society and a government who would take care of their people. And 15 years later, on September 29th of 2019, my partner Hector and I responded to a crisis call. And it was my son, David. He was autistic and in mental health crisis after losing my grandson, Sutherland, to stillbirth. And that day, Officer Stewart, that picture again, man, I remember taking that. Officer Stewart of Monument PD responded to his crisis, called me, assured me that everything was okay, that he knew my son and that he would take care of him. And about 7 hours later, after a drawn-out targeted attack, which involved SWAT from El Paso County, Colorado, my son was shot and killed in his home. Hector and I were then detained unlawfully for several hours and only notified that my son was dead hours later by the news. This last couple of weeks, the FBI has contacted me, of course, to let me know that my son's body has been found 4 years later with about 200 other victims. So November 8th, which was my father's birthday, my son was properly cremated. And it's another example, while the police here weren't directly responsible for the funeral home fiasco, it's another example of how they don't just steal our lives, they steal our futures. They dictate our futures for us if we let them. And this fight is never over. I've been fighting for my son since his death and trying to honor my father in the best way I can and live his legacy now in the fight for my son. But here we are, 1,600 days later, 1,500 days later, and retrieving my son's body from the same police who killed him for the second time. This fight is never over. Um, I am trying so hard to remember my son for who he was, to remember my father for the man that he was. And every memory that I have now comes back to what the police have taken from our family. So I thank you, all the organizations who are here today, everybody who's put their heart and soul into this program so that we can all be here. I truly thank you, especially right now. This is quite good timing. So Kim, I thank you as well. It means a lot to me that you're presenting these. And thank you for remembering my father. I remember my son every day, and I remember my father because I'm him, and I'm his warrior legacy, I guess. But this is the first time in almost 20 years, it'll be in April. This is the first time in 20 years that anybody else has recognized him. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And you're more than welcome, Christina. And it is my honor and pleasure on the unfortunate occasion to include your loved ones in this project. To the family of David Jackson Page and Alan Albertis, on December 2nd, 2023, the name of David Jackson Page and Alan Albertis are formally entered into the Stolen Lives Project, joining tens of thousands of people killed by law enforcement in the U.S. since 1990. These victims who are gathered together in death shout out from their graves for justice. Over 1,000 are killed by this official violence every year. These victims whose lives have been viciously cut short, all had lives and families and were part of society. But rarely are their lives or their names publicized, nor are the real circumstances surrounding their deaths caused by law enforcement made known. Their names and stories and faces gathered in the Stolen Lives Project demand of the living to tell the truth of their stories, and that there will be no more stolen lives. We refuse to let David Jackson and Alan die in vain. In their name, we will stop this national epidemic. Thank you all. Thank you, Christina and Alfrika. And back to Spirit Child and Valerie Dale.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kim. Really appreciate you and stepping in and stepping up and doing this. And your voice, yes, very calm and soothing. And I feel your energy. And thank you for remembering all the lives and putting that on blast right here. Thank you so much. Ibaye Ashe, again to Muhammad, Isfan, Ibaye Ashe to Shakur McNair, Ibaye Ashe to David Jackson Page, Ibaye Ashe to Alan Albertis. And there's a lot of information. The families who just read, Christina Page, Alfrika, please do read the chat if it helps. And again, if you have that water, keep that water close. We're about to dump the water out. If you've been following since the beginning, the water's a good conduit to collect energy. This is really heavy, right? And the families, you all are on the front lines of this. And if there's a way for us collectively to gather to also alleviate some of that, may the water that we share out, whether it be to the streets or out the window or in the sink or whatever it is, may all that energy just purify in some way and reach the families and reach our ancestors. Right now, I want to call up someone who's been here, but not in this form or fashion, which I'm really excited. And I hope that maybe the poetry turns into some verses at some point. Bring back Valerie Dale, sister of retired Army Major Gulia Dale III, killed by Newton, New Jersey police July 4th, 2021, to read a poem written by Bashir Regan for her uncle. And like I said, can't wait to hear the poem. I can't wait to hear the verses coming soon. So thank you so much for sharing your culture. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And the poem is written by my daughter, Basha Regine. The poem is called A Beautiful Black Soldier. A beautiful black soldier, never lost, a profound joy, never forgotten. Your laugh so contagious, your heart so bodacious. Gulia means rosy cheek, golden flower, tender rose, and flower-like, a tender soul. Friend, never foe, heart bound to justice, light as trying to escape in a dark-lit country, America. You fought for men who suck countries dry, of resources and truth. It is clear you are not here, but your love and spirit is near. Fatigued in your army fatigue in countries in the Middle East. Not who I would be. Plant roses and nurture them tenderly. Remember Gulia while your hand graces upon roses and bleeds upon thorns. Remember the blood tracing between concrete cracks, mixed with water from a fighter fighting truck holes. A tender rose murdered, slaughtered, leaving daughters. My daddy dead. I know, Tori said. As I walked up to her, lying in the bed. Is this how you treat the families of your brave and brightest, leaving them fatherless before a ton of ignorance stormed his car, killing his soul? And your calls for money and power is commanded orders to protect the corrupt, to protect the greed of a country that does not see you or me, Uncle. Your intentions were pure for all that you endured. A powerful told me the dead can hear us. Gulia is listening. What will you say? Gulia, 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 Gulia. We thank you. We love you. We will remember you. We will get justice for you. We will say your name. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And sorry for messing up your daughter's name. I didn't know that was your daughter, Basha Regine.
Yes, that's her name, Basha Regine, okay. The poet.
And how old is Basha?
Basha's in her 30s, early 30s.
Okay, that's a beautiful, beautiful poem. And I don't know where the music came from, but it matches. It matches, and that should be recorded. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you for that contribution. Say it again.
I said the music was me.
Oh yeah,
your collaboration, me and my daughter.
Okay, all right. See, we got to know this. I didn't get that in the notes. I didn't get that. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Val.
You're welcome.
Yes, we are honored to not. I mean, these families are not only our families fighting for justice, they're also living in the now. And there's so much information that we didn't get from the mothers that are here. What are they doing in just everyday life on top of this, right? In addition to this, and the energy that comes from these families that speak and that are out in the streets. If you have not been to an October 22nd day of national protest, a rally, if you have never been to one, please mark your calendars, October 22nd. If you haven't been to any kind of vigil or rally for an injustice against police brutality or the assassination of our young people or the criminalization of our young people, please go to one. Meet the families, talk, build, connect, and find the energy there, right? And it's hopefully a reciprocal process. We're gonna bring back Kim Vaughn to read the statement, Impacted by Families. Once again, thank you so much for contributing in this particular manner. All of you are doing so much. And then we ask of you, if you can share a poem or share this or share that or read. And then y'all just always step up every time. And I'm just amazed and honored to be in the likes of the presence and many talents and wonders of you, especially the mothers here. Thank you so much. Oh no, you're muted. Yes, now you're good.
And back at you, Spirit. Thank you for everything that you do to support and promote the stories for us families. And again, your calming, comforting presence in this space. So I am going to read the statement from the impacted families. This was something that was done prior to October 22nd, and we encourage all families to sign on to this with us. Here we go. As families of police murder victims, we have been thrust into a fight that we never asked to be a part of, but we will not stand by and let our loved ones' cases be kept in the dark. We will not sit back and watch police terrorism continue to destroy so many lives through the murderous behavior of law enforcement with zero accountability. The complete lack of respect for human life by the hands of police impacts all races, genders, and creeds. The number of stolen lives continues to grow every year. And Cop City is evidence that there are worse things to come for all of us. We unite as families to overcome the divisiveness that continues to plague our mission. We are a much more powerful front when all families unite as one entity. To that end, we align ourselves with the October 22nd Coalition in hopes of uniting those impacted families with those concerned community members so that we may be a powerful force in the face of this national epidemic. So many victims do not get national attention. And there are thousands and thousands of cases that the public has never heard of. If the people of this nation were told exactly how many people were killed by law enforcement every day, it would astound them. We don't want any more names to be added. We want no more families inflicted with the trauma that we suffer. So stand with us, raise up your voices, your fists, with ours, together for the day when police murder will be a thing of the past. What a beautiful day that would be.
What a beautiful day. And until then, we ain't going to stop. We won't stop. We'll be here. We'll be here with you all. We'll be here in the streets. We'll be on the live streams. We'll be in front of the precincts. We'll be wherever injustice is. We're going to be there. At this moment, we'd love for you all to just maybe put the names of organizations in the chat. We're going to also do the pledge. Kim, right? You're going to do that as well. You're on the pledge too. They got you on the pledge. Before we close out, please do. I'm going to preface everyone. Put the names of the organizations in the chat so we can shout you all out before we close out, and do it properly, because not everyone's reading the live chat. But people are listening, driving. They may come back to this recording, but they may not see the live chat. So we'd like to acknowledge you all. Back to you, Kim.
Okay. I just wanted to say a little something to all of the Stolen Lives families on here tonight. Like we said before, it's a club that we don't want to be in, but let's band together. We could be so strong in the face of qualified immunity and all the things that take down our cases and don't give our loved ones a fair chance. So tonight, I light a candle for all stolen lives across the country, representative of those that could not be included tonight for whatever reason, sending this flame across the country to all of you, my family. My family was destroyed by police murder, so I adopt and claim all of you. I've always wanted a big family. You're mine, and I love you all. So on that note, if everyone could repeat after me, we pledge that the life and the humanity of these stolen lives will not be forgotten. We pledge that their highest hopes and aspirations will live on in us, and that we will seek justice for these and all stolen lives. In this way, we pledge that their memory will stay alive and will inspire all of us to fight for justice and a better world. Their flames will never be extinguished.
Ashe. Thank you so much. And we will keep the flame and the fire burning. Remember, if you pray, whoever you pray to, the prayers matter, the energy matters, your voice matters, your life matters, you matter. So please, we need you. We need you here with us. We'd like to thank the Stolen Lives Project. We'd like to thank all the people who are working today, all the families that contributed, and stepping up into other roles. It's an unfortunate, yet it's a beautiful thing to hear you all. We'd like to thank the Malcolm X Grassroots Committee. We'd like to thank Commemoration Committee. We'd like to thank the Malcolm X Grassroots Movement, People's Organization for Progress, October 22nd Coalition, Maroon Party for Liberation, Urban Art Beat, Malcolm X Network. If I'm missing names, I'm looking for them. It's that roll call time. Obviously, our beautiful Malcolm X Center for Self-Determination. Yes. No More Stolen Lives. All the organizations organizing each and every day. The people, KB in the chat, Ingrid Hill, Baba Zaid, for your organizational work and strength and power and words, Rosa Bettina, Kathy, King, Lumi, Val, Kim, Marissa. And the recording of this live stream will be available at the same link. So if you want to share it far and wide or return to it for any information that you may have missed, please do keep sharing the stories. Keep writing the stories, keep sharing it, and hopefully we can right white supremacy and all the corruption and oppression from existence. And we'll do that to end the occupation from New York City to Palestine. Thank you all. We appreciate you all. Stay safe, stay light, and keep the light burning. Thank you.
What up? We still riding with you. Some stop, gave up. I'm on the course with you, walk with you, talk with you. You gave a mother's love for our children, building a revolution. Yes, we were building. You're someone of the street sign. Starlight Sicilian, I'm feeling it's more. Must be more than this feeling. It's got to be real if you feel what I'm feeling.
More appeals that I'm healing. Still when I wait for the system. And I won't be a victim. And my freedom, still when I get them. More appeals that I'm healing. Still when I wait for the system. And I won't be a victim for my freedom. Still when I eat them, rock when I lead them. Ibaye, Ibaye, Danu, Ibaye, Ibaye, Danu, Ibaye, Ibaye, Danu, Ibaye, Ibaye, Danu, Danu,
Look at your strong kin, what a legacy. We still pray to be better than the enemy. I ain't your target practice, I blacksmith alchemy. We way beyond average multiverse galaxy. That'll be nebula, cellular galaxy. All within I and me, all for the world to see. I talk, put around a speech. I walk, leave behind recliner seats. We put the rise in power to the rest in peace. Make your soul rise in power, suffering rest in peace. We love you.
Ibaye, 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 Shut up on there, shut up on there, shut up on there.
What up? We still riding with you. Some stop, gave up. I'm on the course with you, walk with you, talk with you. You gave a mother's love for our children, building a revolution. Yes, we were building. You're someone of the street sign, starlights the ceiling. I'm feeling it's more, must be more than this feeling. It's got to be real if you feel what I'm feeling.
More appeals that appealing, still we now wait for the system, and I won't.